In this video, we're going to look at installing Python. So Python is the language that powers Capture the Flag, so we need to have that on our computers, and we do that by going to python.org in our web browser, and then we're going to select on Downloads. So for this tutorial, this video, we're going to look at installing on Windows. It's much the same thing if you're on a Mac as well. If you're on Linux, you can do it all through your package manager, and that's very straightforward. So for this video, we're going to go to the Windows, click on that. Now we've got a couple of versions here. We've got the latest Python 3 release 3.8. So in theory that should be fine, but what we're going to do is we're going to select 3.7 release, and the reason is everything's been tested on 3.7. We know it's reliable and that it works. At some point in the future we'll do all the testing on 3.8, but if we stick with 3.7 we should expect everything to work fine. Your experience may be that 3.8 works fine as well, but due to the testing on 3.7 that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to click on this one here, Python 3.7.7, and we're going to go down, and I'm going to get the Windows x86-64 executable installer because I'm on a 64-bit machine, so I'll click on that. And once we're downloaded, I'm going to run that program, and we're presented with the installer. Now a very important thing here is this tick box at the bottom, add 3.7 to path. We're going to tick that to make sure that Python is available to us from our command line. This is very, very important because we won't be able to install Pygame easily if that's not ticked. Now I only need it for my own user, so I'm going to untick that. If you're on a machine that's restricted, you don't have administration privileges, you'll need to have that unticked. But having it ticked or unticked, if you have privileges, it'll work either way. So I'm going to go to install now. And our setup was successful, so I'll close this window. Alright, at this point Python should be installed. I'm going to double check that by launching the command prompt, and I'll simply type py version, and you can see that it comes up and says we have Python 3.7.7 installed. Okay, so that's getting Python installed. Next video we'll look at installing Pygame.